This is lesson 2.4, activity 3. So we have a new message from Dr. Alex Young, and it says, I hope you are making progress in your investigation of the poisonous rough-skinned newts. We're hoping to share an explanation with park visitors as soon as possible. Can you explain what you know so far about the newt population? We would really appreciate if you could send over a scientific argument that connects your evidence to your claim with reasoning. That will really help our visitors understand more about the newt. Alex Young is eager to share our findings with the scientific community, so we're going to need to prepare an argument for the claim we think is best supported by using the reasoning tool. We've all used the reasoning tool before, and we know that it will help us connect evidence that we've collected from the histograms and articles to a claim about why the newt population has changed so much. So let's take a look at a little review of the reasoning tool. This is one of the hardest things for students to do, and it can be challenging to clearly say how evidence supports or goes against a claim. However, the process of reasoning is what strengthens a scientific argument or explanation. You can provide evidence, you can give an answer, but if you can't explain why the evidence tells you that that answer is true or not true, then it doesn't mean anything. Like if I just sit here and tell you that iPhone 11 Pro is the best, and then I tell you it has a good camera, I don't really explain why having a good camera tells you that it's the best phone. So I need to explain that, and that's what the reasoning is. I reason through that. If I were to sit here and tell you, well, I am a social media influencer and my livelihood depends on a good camera, a good video on my cell phone in order for me to be able to make money, and at any time I need to be able to post videos or whatever y'all be doing these days. So that's a good reason. That explains why the camera, and that explains why having a camera makes it the iPhone the best phone. And that's my reasoning. So this is hard, but it's important. You're going to use a reasoning tool to connect the evidence that you have collected to the revised claim that we talked about in the last activity. So even though, hold on, let me get to where I need to get to. So even if you feel sure about this claim, you still have more work to do. It's not sufficient to simply tell Alex Young which claim is supported by the evidence. You need to explain why that claim is supported by the evidence. Without this explanation, your arguments would not be convincing. The reasoning tool is going to help you with this important thinking. Our claim is that the newt population became more poisonous because the snakes in this environment caused poison to be an adaptive trait. And poison level 10 is the most common because the newts with this trait were able to live longer and reproduce more than other newts. So it's like I said, it's not sufficient just to say the claim. You need to explain the claim and the evidence. So we are ready to use both parts of the claim now that I was just reading. So what we're going to do is I'm going to help you here. So the claim is, I'm going to copy this by highlighting it and then paste it in here. And then I'm going to write and poison level 10 and copy it and paste it. So here's my evidence, here's my claim. So just like in the reasoning tool, evidence on the left, the therefore is your claim. You're restating your claim. So on the left here, I have 4 pieces of evidence, A, B, C, and D. And then therefore, the newt population became more poisonous because the snakes in the environment caused poison to be an adaptive trait. And poison level 10 is the most common because newts with this trait were able to live longer and reproduce more than other newts. So I need to connect the evidence to this claim. So I'm going to start giving you an example. I'm going to do evidence A. So I'm going to start with evidence in the first row. And that says that sometime between 50 generations ago and today, snakes became part of this newt population's environment. The reasoning or thinking I need to do to connect this evidence to our new claim has to do with what I know about environments and how they cause different effects on populations. This statement is evidence that the newts are likely to experience natural selection due to the predators in their environment. So it helps me start building a case about why poison level 10 is the most common. It doesn't fully explain it. It starts to build the case. You need all the evidence to build the case. So in this middle column, what I'll write is I'll say the newts that are the most common are the ones that have adaptive traits to help them avoid being killed by snakes. So let's read this together. Evidence A. Sometime between 50 generations ago and today, snakes became part of this newt's population's environment. This matters because the newts that are the most common are the ones that have adaptive traits to help them avoid being killed by snakes. Therefore, the newt population became more poisonous, blah, 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 blah. So this is all together is one paragraph. And so I'm connecting that the snakes became part of the environment and that the newts that are the most common have adaptive traits to help them avoid. So this starts to build, avoid being killed. So this starts to build my explanation. So what you're going to do is you're going to complete the reasoning for the evidence B, C, and D. You don't have to start with B. You can start on any of these, but you need to complete all of them. And at the bottom here is a histogram showing the change of the distribution of the traits over 50 generations. So complete the reasoning for B, C, and D, and then make sure to press hand in when you're done.